Hello and welcome back to the RattleMind podcast. I'm Rye, and joining me as always is my co-host.
Angie.
Awesome. Today, as it's Wednesday, we're going to talk video games because it seems to be what we do now.
I love
It's
how
become a
every
thing.
time I say my name, you have like a little like awesome, cool, like okay,
Hey, I got to be
uh,
excited that I have one of my best friends as a co-host.
hell yeah.
All right. So, today's video game is hold on, I don't want that on the screen.
It's funny
So,
though because like it kind of sounds like you're like making sure I'm there. Like, am I co-host?
a
You are there, right?
little
Yeah,
bit, yeah.
Angie. Okay, cool. Yeah, here we go.
All right. But the game today that we're going to talk about is No Man's Sky. We've both played it.
What a world,
Yeah, it is a weird
or
world.
what a four cajillion bazillion worlds.
Yeah,
I don't know.
No
There's
Man.
a, there's like a technical number for the number of worlds in this game that I forget the stupid you know. I
What's
almost said description.
yeah,
Nomination.
yeah, numeration.
No, not nomination. You know what I mean? Like it's not million, it's not trillion, it's not billion, it's not one of our usual illions. It's like a crazy number. It's insane.
Yeah, the word you're looking for is numeration.
Oh, thank you. Learn
Yep,
something new every day, folks.
that's because I know way too much of stuff that doesn't really help you out in any
Well,
really
that's
meaningful
why
way.
that's why everyone needs a friend like you because it's hard not to learn something new when I hang out with you. So,
All right,
I'm Googling this number of planets.
No Man's Sky.
Quintillion.
There you go.
18 quintillion, according to two sources upon a Google search.
And what's weird is that the first time I was playing, I jumped to a different star system and it was undiscovered.
Yep, nope.
It's like,
As soon as I started, yeah, you start off pretty much in literally your own entire galaxy. Like,
well,
I'm,
okay, solar system, galaxy, universe. That's the order of things. So you start in your own solar system, but when you start off, you're technically going to be playing solo because and you have to actually people actually have to know how to find you to do multiplayer.
I just sent you a number. If you wanna look, uh, let me see, 3,
There we
6,
go.
9, 12, 15, 18, plus 2, 20 digits.
18 quintillion. Yeah,
That's so specific too. That is a very specific number. Oh, but yeah, um they set out to make it feel like you were this pinprick on you're a grain of sand, in the universe. In fact, smaller because there are literally a mind-blowing number of different planets out there. And then you can, like you said, break that down by they call it star systems because solar system is technically the exact name of our star system, like in real life.
yeah, because if whenever you
It
do a
doesn't.
video game and our immediate solar system, Earth, Mars, and all that is referenced, a lot of the times they will label it as Sol 1.
That makes sense because our star is called the sun, and solar comes from the word sun. So, like, it's our solar system based off the name of our star. And the other cool thing is like, they all have names. Every planet you come across has a name. You will see some funky names, and some you can figure out how to hazard a pronunciation, some you're just like, nope. But if you discover a star system or a planet or what have you, you can claim it and rename it as your own discovery. Like you own that star system. It makes you feel so cool. Oh my gosh. What a concept. What a concept. Unfortunately, No Man's Sky was amazing in theory before it came out. And then when it came out, I'll let you take over from here
All
because
right.
I don't know all the details.
When No Man's Sky came out, it had a crap ton of issues. Here you can see that they have people playing together. There was no multiplayer at all on release. That's Origins. Why can I not? I can never find the proper things. But on release, there were no multiplayer at all. They said that there was multiplayer and that there's just so much space that you'd never see anyone. The other problem they had is that they would have procedurally generated creatures and plants. Well, the creatures looked funny.
Yeah, one of the selling points was that so much was generating on its own that like the creators were not gonna have any idea like what all was involved in this game. Like they weren't gonna know all the animals, they weren't gonna know all the planets, they weren't gonna know all the
Here we go.
you know uh everything because it was like all game created.
Come on, get me something that looks interesting. There you go. All the animals were weird. Some of them were walking upside down.
Oh, so it wasn't that they looked off, they just functioned
They,
horrifically.
yeah, they could not physically have been a real animal, is the problem. So all the animals just, there was no logical way they would function. It was worse than a spore creation by a
Spore.
adolescent preteen who thought they could make a dick out of all the creatures. They looked that bad. So,
I have to say that even now, like there are some animals you'll find that are like,
yeah.
well, no, but like at the same time, it's like it's outer space. It's like different climates. You can kind of justify it, but I feel like back then, from what I've heard, it was totally unjustifiable. Like what was going on? Like, because today you can just kind of be like, oh, it's just the weird planet in the
Yeah.
atmosphere or whatever.
Now it
But
actually makes
not back
sense.
then.
It makes more sense what creatures are on what planet, but
Right.
back when it launched, it was terrible. Um, the other problem was that No Man's Sky was all hype when it was launching,
Mm-hmm.
and
Lots of hype.
they were nowhere near complete on most of the features they were hyping up. So it launched missing a ton of features that they were saying, here's what's going to be good and cool about this game, but a lot of it just didn't work.
Man, this is why I'm quality over quantity. Like, I could never work with a deadline.
Right.
Because, like, if you rush me, you're gonna get garbage results. And a lot of these, like, creators just get rushed into, like, get this out before Christmas, blah. And then it's just, are you really surprised when it, like,
Well,
fails miserably?
with No Man's Sky, the problem was that they were a brand new studio with very little experience at all from the people who were working there. Most of them did not have real world game experience.
Interesting. Okay, I didn't know that.
So they were a very small, like 50 people team, and then Sony came in.
Wow.
Yeah, Sony came in and said, "Hey, we like what you were talking about doing," and they backed it for quite a bit, backed the money to it for it, and they got super funded and got put on tons of press tours that they never should have done. They should have done like a third of what they did. So they were getting rushed from Sony to get it out. And
Yep,
then
that's what happens.
uh, the lead creator of No Man's Sky, he was talking about all the features that he wanted to get into the game, but there was no way they would be ready for launch.
Right, right. Well, I don't know what happened, but they made some kind of turnaround
They
because
did, big time.
yeah, yeah, not too long ago, David was playing on his PlayStation and um it looked really cool, but I was like, I kind of avoided this game for a reason. And he's like, no, like they've been working on it and you can tell, like it shows. I was like, okay, like, let's give it a shot. And like, I got like, what was it? Like 100 hours in less than a week or something like that.
Yeah.
And then it was like in the middle of like an event too. And it was just, oh man, yeah, it got me. It got me.
Yeah, the
It,
Origins update is what really turned them around. They did
okay.
a big patch that,
Yeah, I was hoping you'd have a lot of insight
yeah,
on like
they
what
did
caused
a
the
big patch that corrected
improvement.
almost everything. And then after Origins, they did a patch to include multiplayer. So when they said that you would actually be able to encounter people, or in their originally press release stuff, was that, yeah, it's multiplayer, but you wouldn't be encountering anybody because the world is just so vast.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, people were going to the exact same planet, putting in the coordinates, standing right in the exact location,
Yeah,
and they
not
could not
seeing
see each other.
their friends, yeah.
So,
Well, they David also told me that the anomaly, which to summarize is without giving too much away, is a summonable space station.
yes.
And you will definitely find people there because I don't know how they determine who. I'm sure there's some kind of like server number you're in, and
Yeah,
there's
what
like,
it is that the anomaly is a multiplayer hub. So
yeah,
basically,
yeah,
it's the way to think about it is if you're playing Fortnite, it's that starting lobby is what they are doing for the anomaly.
right.
It's basically a starting lobby that has everyone can be in there running about. So, but I
And
always
it
turn off
it really
multiplayer.
helps
So,
you out running through there because really experienced players will just be hanging out there and just handing people stuff like valuable stuff. They will just like dish it out left and right. They don't care. They're just there to just help noobs. And it really like helps to just run through there and walk by somebody. You don't even have to talk to them.
yeah,
And the other cool thing is like it's cross-platform. Excuse me while I stutter. I've been able to play with David while he's on his PlayStation and I'm on PC. Um, Sometimes it gets a little funky. Uh, like
yeah,
built structures don't load in right all the time, and it can be a little weird. But it's not perfected, but it is something, and it's really cool.
right. And it is fun to play. I mean, the way I made money is I just decided I'm going to be a scav. I'm going to just scavenge all the broken ships everywhere.
Ooh, did you do all those spoopy braiders?
I've only done one of the freighters, and that was right as they launched a patch that killed it for the with the AMD motherboards with integrated audio lighting effects controls.
Oh, so
And
that's why you have to turn it off.
yeah, I have to turn
It's
off
those.
Windows Audio to be able to load past the Hello Game splash screen.
Wow.
And then once it's past that, I can turn the audio back on and all that. But it's a bug with AMD processors and motherboards for some reason. But I liked having my colorful rainbow light computer, so it's like, you killed it, now it's stuck on one color. I want it to switch colors.
Intel for the win. What?
Yeah. Uh, Intel, you're a little too pricey for people who build their computers. I can,
Fair enough.
yeah. So you can buy. Okay, not going into that. Got to stop there. Not going into that.
That's a whole nother episode.
Exactly. The Intel
uh,
AMD episode. Okay. But yeah. So there are bugs that kind of make it to where you can't play, but you can do the workarounds
yeah.
to get it to work. And it's a fun game. I love playing it. I just got tired of all the workarounds I have to do to launch it. That's why I'm only at
Oh,
78 hours versus your, what, 200 and something?
yeah, 240 right now, yeah. I haven't been on it in a while just because like I'm a game hopper. I hop from game to game all the time. Um, but like I am so fond of this. And I was really fond of the expeditions too. The last one they did was a challenge because it was oh, what's it called? Permadeath.
Right.
It's a permadeath save. So the way they do events is you basically start over with a new save, and then the event items that you get, you can pick up from another character.
Yep.
Um, this particular event required a perma save, which means if you die, you start over. I died, I think, twice. No, maybe three times. Two or three times. Um, very heart wrenching, gut sinking, all of that. But like the satisfaction from like getting through it though at the end, I was just oh, it was so cool. And one of them actually gave you a living frigate.
Free it, yeah.
So like they're the freighters, which are the ginormous ships that basically are bases in the sky, quote unquote, not sky, in space. Your space base. And
Yep.
and then the frigates that you can send on missions, you get a living frigate from one of the expeditions. And I was so glad that I joined when I could get that because, oh, the living stuff is so cool. I have a living ship now, too.
Yeah. Didn't the living ships get a little bit of a redesign? I don't remember.
I have no clue.
Well, I know
I
that
know they're a fairly newer concept.
the living ships, a lot of people would rotate through them trying to find their exact ones they wanted, the colors and all that, which,
Yeah, they'll tell you like before when you get to the last part to manually save so that you can leave and do it again if you don't like what you got. I just accepted the first one I got. I was like, this is fate. This is what is meant to be. This is my baby, you know?
see, a lot of the No Man's Sky community are asking for customizable starships.
That would make a 18 quintillion world of difference.
Yes, it would.
Because like you can find ships in star space stations.
Yep.
Every star system has its own space station. Um, when you go into different star systems, you find different styles of ships. But you start to notice a pattern after so long. Like you start to see like like the same sections over and over again, just in
Yep.
different combinations. I think that's why they added things like the solar ships, the exotic ships, the living ships. It does spice things
Right.
up a little bit. Um, but it would make so oh my god, it would be so much fun if they like made it made ships customizable somehow.
If the
Oh
only thing
man.
they added was that you could paint your ship, that would make it a ton more fun for
That would make a
people.
difference. Yeah, yeah, it wouldn't be much, but it would be something. I would definitely count it towards something, man. uh
I mean, they have a built in interface already in the space stations where you could do that at.
Right. Yeah, it's for the upgrades, the inventory upgrades and the
Yeah,
class upgrades and stuff, for sure.
they could just add a tab to allow you to paint it.
Yep. You can do it to freighters. You can paint freighters.
Right? Oh. And then if they were going to make, if you wanted to be able to change out spot parts, what you could do is that you have to find a ship that has the part that you want and scrap it.
Yes,
And then
there
you'd get.
are abandoned ships. Yes, that would
That's
be
how I make all
perfect.
my money when I play No Man's Skies. I just go
Right,
looking for the
okay, yeah.
abandoned ships.
When you said it wasn't those, there's a name for those freighters that are kind of spoopy, and I can never remember what they're called. But when you said it wasn't those freighters, I was like, oh, it must be the ones that are like crashed
Yeah,
on planets and underwater and stuff. But yeah, that would be so cool if like you had to like find those and salvage the part that you wanted
yeah, and that would be a fun mechanic. In fact,
and oh, sorry, go ahead.
in fact, they could make a whole expedition around finding a specific part for a type of ship.
Oh yeah, that'd be sick. That'd be totally sick.
I mean, it could,
Because that's how all these ships are assembled anyways. Like they're assembled like with certain parts and certain combinations.
right.
So like they could totally do that to where not only you could customize it, but like they could add a bunch of new parts for that section of ship or that type of ship.
Yeah,
Because there are three types of normal ships. There are
yeah, you
cargo
have the,
fighters and
exactly.
explorers. Explorers are they're my favorite by far by a
I
launch.
think I have a cargo, is what my main ship is.
The cargos are cool. They can look pretty stupid.
Yes, they can. It's like
They really
I
can.
saw one that was just the hull and then one big thruster at the back.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like,
yeah. I call those the tubes.
yeah,
They're the tubes. Uh, so yeah, if they did more with that, that would keep people coming back, because I think they barely scraped a revival. I really do. Like this
oh
game
yeah,
could have
it could have just
just blown
bombed
away
big
in the
time.
wind.
Yeah,
Right. But if they keep this level, this improvement path going, I mean, my, analogies on the fly are just outstanding, I know. But but if they keep this ball rolling, there we go, there's a more recognizable one, then yeah, like this game could really be even more phenomenal.
yeah, and they have the expeditions, which is what keeps most people coming back to playing it.
Yeah, yeah,
And
for
then you have the
sure.
speedrunning community that does the expeditions and tries to do it as fast as possible.
I don't like lingering in expeditions too long because I know it's not my main save. So it's
Right.
like I just want to get the stuff, like get it on my main save as soon as possible.
But I watch what is it? Jason Plays, Survival Bob. Those are the two main speedrunning No Man's Sky people that I watch.
Hmm.
And
Do they use the dupe?
no, they don't do
Like,
any duplication while they're speedrunning
okay, okay.
because they are doing a legitimate run.
Right, right.
So
They
they're trying
really
to do
should
it
just
as fast as
disable
possible.
it. That temptation is there, and I can't help myself most of the time.
Yeah, there's exploits in
And
the
it's
game that,
so easy to do. Oh my God, they made it so easy. But the entire fan base that knows about it has always just been like, if they didn't approve of it, they would have fixed it. It doesn't seem like
right.
a hard fix. I'm no game developer, but it would be so easy to disable. And I honestly wish they would, because yes, it has made life so easy, but it's like too easy. I feel like you know, like I get that like some people say they don't want it to be too grindy. Um, but I mean, at least because you have the list of different types of servers, maybe like do one that's like specifically anti duping and glitching,
Yeah.
for people who do want to do the grinding,
The
you
problem
know.
is that with this dupe glitch, they've left it in so long that the bug has become a feature for a lot of players.
Mm, I hate that I know about it, but I do, and here we are. I try to justify it though, because it's like in technology, in space technology, futuristic. It's like maybe like I can pretend I'm a mechanic and I can do the thing, and I don't want to tell the world what it is. 'Cause y'all can find out on your own. It's not hard to find.
Right.
But like whenever I like cave, I just, you know, I it's so easy to like pretend that it is a game feature.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they'll do a No Man's Sky 2 just like Ark is doing, and maybe they'll fix all that stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, I gotta click on one of these purchase options. What is XS? I gotta click on it. I gotta figure out what this is.
Oh God, is it mobile? There's a mobile for all these heavy games anymore.
What?
Is it the Steam Deck?
Microsoft Store?
Oh,
Yeah, it
wow.
took me to the Microsoft Store.
They do have a
Huh.
VR version, but that doesn't look like that's what that is.
Yeah, I finally have a computer that could actually run VR, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Optimize. Oh, it's for the Xbox Series S. That's what it is.
Oh my
Oh,
God. We've been such a PlayStation household for so long. I didn't even think of that. And my roommate Nez has an Xbox One still.
yeah.
Look at that. That's funny.
Oh, it's the little things that you're just like, it's so stupid. I didn't think of that.
Right, they
Why?
can fit Xbox One in an entire box.
But
They can fit Nintendo Switch in an entire box, but not Xbox X.
well, that's the way. This is Microsoft's fault, though. See, it's actually Microsoft's symbol for the Series
Oh,
S.
they try to be slick about it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Microsoft. I like you because I can't get away from your operating system, but
Right. I will always be a Windows user, but
yeah.
I've given up on Xbox. I'm not
Well,
much of a, to be fair, I'm not a console gamer hardly at all anyway. Like,
yeah.
my Switch gets the most action and it is not used that much. And then my PlayStation is used infinitely more by my boyfriend because it's connected to the big TV. Like, I, so it's not like a fair comparison, but like between the two, PlayStation just has always like appealed to my gaming preferences better and
Right.
stuff like that. So, uh,
Well, on the okay, we're getting too much in the weeds of another topic, so that's
true, 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 true.
consoles are going to be
However,
another.
No Man's Sky is on all these
It
consoles.
is now. Originally, it was only PlayStation
Right, right, right.
because Sony's the one that paid for it. The uh,
Relatable.
I don't get tongue tied. My lips just seem to stop wanting to open properly.
We should stop recording so late. Dang.
Yeah, we record at like 11 something, and we go
We
for an
start
hour.
at like
Yeah,
11.
it's like darn it. All right. You know what? We've pretty much exhausted this little venture because we've started to venture into other topics. So we'll call this
Oh,
an. Okay, you
we
got it?
didn't talk about settlements like at
Oh, that's
all.
right. Yeah, settlements. Let's talk
That's a
about that. We
really
still
cool
have time
feature of
for
the
it. Yeah.
game. Yeah. So like if you were wondering, yes, there are towns of NPCs on planets that you can become the mayor of and you can grow your town and make it better and get like cool like little I feel like they can tweak this, they can make it a little more rewarding, a little more
Right.
satisfying, but it is still really cool and when the characters aren't glitching into buildings, it's like
Yeah, it's
you,
hilarious
you
when they
learn their
walk through
names
doors.
sometimes and you're just like, oh hey, Juba Duba, like they're all weird names. And and yeah, like you like solve disputes between the settlers and like it's really cool. And there's usually a mix of the three main races. Um which by
Mm,
the way all have really fascinating backstories. Like if you pay attention to the like main quest line and stuff like that, especially when it comes to Atlas, you will definitely enjoy the lore and the storyline and just how like mind bending it can be. So I do love the lore and stuff.
yeah, and that's actually one of the things that got No Man's Sky back on track is that they added story to it.
Oh, okay. I
And
didn't know that wasn't an original thing.
there was minor bits of story, but it wasn't as fleshed out as it is now.
Okay, okay.
And once they added all the story, it really made the game worth playing. But hey, we finally hit our 30-minute threshold, so
Hey, just in the nick of time.
yeah. So we'll end it here. Uh, Thank you so much for watching. Remember, we're on YouTube, Rumble, and I still need to get the audio format put up somehow. I'm lazy. Deal with it. So remember, like, comment, subscribe, and I will let Panchi lead us out with her additions.
I was like, how long is it gonna take him to finish that sentence?
Hey, you know me. I stop talking like halfway through a sentence, and
I know.
sometimes I
I've been
don't even
prone
come
to
back to
it.
it.
Well, I mean, every single person who plays is prone to have very unique experiences. So if you want to talk about like the funky planets or animals or characters you've seen, any frustrations or things you love about No Man's Sky, feel free to share. I'd love to hear your stories. So, see you next time.
All right. Thank you, everyone, and goodbye.
Bye.